Captain Gallen does the business around here. I'm just a shipsman.
I already told you. I'm not going back to Solstheim. All right, you have a point. Taking you back to find out who sent them is the least I can do. Besides, maybe you can put a stop to whatever's going on over there. I owe them a bit of payback myself. Well, here we are. This is Raven Rock. Can't say I'm all that glad to see it again. Good luck. Maybe you can figure out what's going on around here.
Yeah?
I don't recognize you. So I'll assume this is your first visit to Raven Rock, Outlander. State your intentions. Mirak, I'm not sure that I do. Just remember, Raven Rock is sovereign territory of House Redoran. This is Morrowind, not Skyrim. While you're here, you will be expected to abide by our laws. Any questions? Raven Rock started out as an Imperial settlement. But the Empire decided to abandon it, just as my people were first setting foot here. They left the town a shambles. But when House Redoran took over, we turned it around and it became ours. And even if it's been a struggle to make this island livable, we're proud to call it home. I have to be. As second counselor, the security of Raven Rock is my primary concern. This isn't exactly the city of Blacklight. We're on the frontier out here. We've had more than a fair share of troubles. After all we've been through together, I refuse to let Councillor Morvain down. Councillor Morvain is House Redoran's representative on Solstheim. As second councillor, it's my job to support him and make certain his rule is enforced. Your ignorance of our homeland doesn't surprise me. It's the capital of Morrowind. Been that way ever since Mournhold was sacked by the Argonians. I don't visit there often anymore, but we still get the occasional supply ship and visitors from there. Quite a while ago, yes. They cut a bloody swath across most of the southern region of Morrowind. Nobody seems certain why it happened. An attempted expansion, revenge for the enslavement of their people, or perhaps both. Whatever the case may be, thousands of Dunmen needlessly lost their lives, and many more were exiled from their homeland. I'm unsure. I swear I know the name, but I cannot place it. I don't think so. I'm not... The name has something to do with the Earthstone, I think, but I'm not sure what. Giala, I was starting to wonder what happened.
Anyway,
We were delayed by bad weather. Before you even ask, yes, I have the supplies you requested. But
What?
this load cost me double what we'd agreed on. Nothing I can do about it.
Damn it, Jolland, you know we don't have that much coin.
Look, the East Empire Company didn't give me a choice. They've raised their prices again, and there's nothing I can do about it.
After all these years, they're gouging us for every last
Northern
drake
Maiden,
we have.
ship shape and ready to go.
Let me talk to Laryl. I'll see what we can do.
I'm no
All
fan
right,
of the
Admiral.
sun.
Don't worry about rushing. Just
Northern
pay me when you
maidens,
can.
ship-shape and ready to go.
Your visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide by our laws. Otherwise, you'll answer to the Reverend Guard.
This may be the frontier. We've still got rules. Break them.
I hate to break it to you, but there isn't a scrap of ebony left in the mines. You might want to just move on.
Here in his shrine.
That they have forgotten.
Here do we toil, that we might remember.
Here we reclaim.
What's faithless
That
minds
seems
have stolen.
inadvisable. Oh, fascinating. By touching the stone, you appear to have fallen under whatever influence is affecting the others. You there. You don't seem to be in quite the same state as the others here. Very interesting. May I ask what it is you're doing here? Mirak. It sounds familiar, and yet I can't quite place... Oh, wait, I recall. That makes very little sense. Mirak's been dead for thousands of years. I'm not sure, but it is fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps it has some relation to what's going on here. Quite unexpected. I'm afraid I can't give you any answers, but there are ruins of an ancient temple of Mirax toward the center of the island. If I were you, I'd look there. Building something, clearly, and yet they don't seem to have much to say about it. I'm very interested to find out what happens when they finish. Certainly not. Doing so would interfere with whatever is going on, and I would be unable to see how this all turns out. Red Mountain dominates the island. Every now and then, ash and debris from an eruption land on our shores. The ignorant think it is only a place of ash and lava. It has rolling green plains and swamps and verdant hills, too.
And when the world remembers...
That's that, then.
Here in his shrine.
If you ever need apothecary supplies, talk to my wife, Milori. The Dunmer have been growing food in the Ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever. No, only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience. I think so, but I can't remember how I know him. Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think so. But the only thing that comes to mind is a shrine near the Earthstone. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of food for sale.
The ash from Red Mountain holds secrets. Secrets I mean to uncover.
Don't like those eyes you got. There's a bad hunger to them.
Yes, I'm proud to say that I grow or harvest most of it myself. I only wish I had a better source for netch jelly. Those creatures are difficult to track down since it's so dangerous beyond the bulwark.
That would be splendid. I'd be more than happy to give you something for the effort.
After we left Morrowind, we found ourselves in Skyrim. We wandered around a bit and ended up in Morthal, where we took up temporary residence with Lami, the town's alchemist. I was fascinated by her work, and over a period of a few years, she taught me quite a bit.
It wasn't long before we became homesick. We were the only Dunmer in Morthal.
When word reached us that a settlement of Dunmer was forming on Solstheim, we were thrilled.
It's been difficult, but I'm not regretting it one bit. In fact, I'm glad we've been able to stay and help.
As you can imagine, the eruption of the Red Mountain took an awful toll on Solstheim. Hunting for game has been scarce, and the waters are apparently too tainted for fishing. According to Councillor Morvain, my husband's been Raven Rock's most important food source for decades.
I don't think so, though it sounds like a name I've heard before. I hear that name, and I see a temple here on Solstheim. What could that mean?
Careful with those netches. They may look tame, but they can seriously hurt you when threatened.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Just got some of my merchandise off the latest supply ship. See if anything strikes your fancy. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of food for sale.
Want to buy anything, or just laugh at our misfortunes? The question you should be asking is, what don't I sell here? Because I have pretty much any supplies you might need. If it's not a weapon, potion, or armor, then it's likely that I have it. Jarland, over at the docks, brings me most of my supplies, and the rest comes from bartering with the people in town. Oh, Glover Mallory gets me a few things once in a while. He usually has the most amazing deals that I can't pass up. Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today? I've half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. You know, the lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude. The biggest warehouse they have in Skyrim. Bah! You're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my words. The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock, and when they do, I'll be at the top of their list. I think I maybe had a dream about someone with that name. It was very strange. Was I building something? A shrine down on the beach near the Earthstone? I'm not sure. Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item. It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point, a kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them. They could be anywhere on the island. The mines might be a good place to start. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheim, bring them here, and I'll pay you for them. Everything I've got on display, really. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by.
That's not someone who lives in Raven Rock, I don't think. But it sounds so familiar. Maybe. I can't help but think of some sort of temple on the island. Why would that be? Don't stay away for too long.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
Fight well. Why don't you say
Murkle
that
doesn't
even
lend
louder,
coin
so
to
the entire
outlanders.
town can hear you
Look
when you
somewhere
get
else.
Just give
It
them
gets
a-
lonely
looking
out
for
here.
trouble. Now stay out of my way.
You haven't seen Crucius Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again. No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know. I prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Crucius, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble. Well, it's been a long time since someone from the guilds bothered to make their way out here. So tell me, how's my brother Delvin? Still spending his nights at the Ragged Flagon trying to win Vex's heart? Good to hear. Damn layabout never even bothers to send his own flesh and blood a letter saying how he's doing. Can you imagine? Anyway, I suppose you're looking for work. Well, I got bad news. This place is drier than a damn bone. Eager to make some coin, eh? That's the spirit. I'll tell you what. The guild's got a problem out here that I've been trying to deal with for years, but haven't been able to handle. Don't look at me like that. I'm all alone out here, with no one to watch my back. And besides, it's really my problem anyway. I caused it. A fellow Breton who went by the name Esmond Tyne showed up at my doorstep about a fortnight ago. He noticed the shadow marks like you did, and I thought he was one of us. That he did, right out from under my nose. Can you believe it? It's my own formula for improved bone mold. Took me years to perfect. Well, before he ran off, he was talking some nonsense about trying to fence goods to the Reeklings at Castle Karstag. I told him he was crazy to even think about talking to those vicious little buggers, but he wouldn't listen. I'd bet a fat purse of coin that he's either dead or hiding out up there. You do that, and I'll make sure you're set up right. You won't be disappointed. A fine question, and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften. I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Ryth, a very talented armor smith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since. It's the only tool tough enough to crack Stalrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Crucius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. Calling Stalrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. You tell Crucius he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else.
I work for Mogul. You got a problem, you talk to him.
Where'd you come from?
Thanks. I wasn't sure I'd make it off this farm alive. I wish I could have said the same for my man here. I wish I could have said the same for my... Some of the Redoran Guard have taken to calling them ash spawn. Me, I don't care what they're called. All I know is they're a danger to Raven Rock and they need to be stopped. I was going to search for clues that might lead me to wherever they're coming from. I know it isn't the best place to start, but we know they've been coming from this direction. Good. I can use all the help I can get. Besides, I don't feel comfortable leaving Raven Rock behind, and I'd hate to lose any more Redoran Guard. We were searching the farm when the ash spawn ambushed us. Have a look around and see if you can turn up anything useful. No one knows, really. Superstitious folks say they're the risen forms of those that died long ago, but I'm not so certain. They started attacking the bulwark a few weeks ago. My men were able to kill them, but they keep coming back. We've had 2 other assaults on the bulwark, at different spots on the wall. I know it sounds crazy, but it's almost like they're becoming more organized and probing it for weaknesses. Exactly. Something has to be directing them against us, and we need to find out who or what it is. I don't. All I know is that the ash spawn are coming from this direction, so this is as good a place to start as anywhere else. Good thing the farm's been abandoned for a long time. I'd hate to see what they would do to an unarmed farmer and his family. Not sure. I was told it was an old Imperial farm that was wiped out by the eruption of the Red Mountain. Not certain who lived there. It was already a pile of rubble when I arrived in Raven Rock. Report back to me if you discover... anything unusual. Have you found something? This is strange. The note says it's from General Falks Carius, but that's impossible. Well, Carius was the Imperial garrison commander at Fort Frostmoth, but he died over 200 years ago when the Red Mountain leveled the place. There's no way he could still be alive. If General Carius is still alive, there must be something keeping him that way. I need you to head out to Fort Frostmoth and check it out. I'm going to head back to Raven Rock and prepare the men for further assaults. Be careful. This General Carius sounds out of his mind.
It'll be good to get out of the sun for a while.
Yes, Sirrah?
With me? What's the matter with you?
Sorry, I've just had a lot of pork-faced cowards coming by to mock my efforts. It probably can't hurt to tell you. You look mostly honest.
The name's Rollis. Rollis Sedaris, out of Moorhold.
I've got a financier waiting for me back on the mainland.
Sent me here in the interests of obtaining some rare antiquities. The relics of Arzador.
But this whole thing became a disaster right quick, let me tell you. You come out of the northern ashlands, you don't expect things to go easy, you know. But this was something outside my particular expertise. When I first got to Kolbjorn, you couldn't even see it. Buried in the ash, like most other things on this blasted island. Dug out a pile of the stuff taller than me just to find the barrow. Who knows how much to reach the door. Excavating isn't exactly my specialty. Even if it was, the ash storms fill it in faster than you can dig. You think I've got that kind of money? No, I only get paid on delivery. Can't afford to go out of pocket for 1,000 septims on this. Takes money to make money, all that rot. There's a lot of it at the other end. But I can't get there without a little kick to start it off. You ever hear of Azador? He was the first great Nord enchanter, maybe even the first human to master elven methods. His best work was buried with him, though. A set that my patron calls the relics are supposed to be down in his tomb. Now, they're old, and they're powerful. A combination like that makes them pretty valuable to certain people. And I happen to know certain people. What? Are you serious? Well, I think I could make that work. We can sort out the details of our little arrangement later. But for now, I'll manage the dig if you can manage the coin. Do you have the gold? It's all here. Well then, looks like I have a good bit of work to start on. I'll head back to Raven Rock and round up some diggers. Once we've got something worth looking at, I'll send word to you. Pleasure doing business with you, partner. I'll see you soon.
Who's there? It's going in well for you. That'll teach you. It'll be good to get out of the sun for a while.
Men, an invader has entered the fort. Fort Frostmoth will never fall. Long live the Empire!
Who's there? Where'd you come from? That'll teach you.
Stay on your guard.
You're treading on Imperial soil. Prepare to defend yourself.
Just a scratch! I've failed.
Let's get indoors. Or in a cave. Anywhere, just out of this.
Talk to Rallis about this mess.
We've got a crew on it. They're not sharp, but they're working hard.
Come back soon. See you.
What news do you bring from Fort Frostmoth? I had my suspicions that he was undead. How else could he have survived for over 200 years? It's a shame. There are quite a few tales of General Carius's exploits, including the founding of Raven Rock. Councillor Morvain told me to give this to you if you made it back in one piece. And you got rid of General Carius. Better than a soldier's pay, so you should be thankful. Ah, this is bone mold armor. Quite impressive, wouldn't you say? It's fashioned from actual bone that's been reinforced with a resin-like material and then shaped to form the armor plating. It might appear brittle, but I'd wager it could stop the blow of a weapon better than iron or steel. All of the soldiers in this town are Redoran Guard, some of the best warriors that House Redoran has to offer. I've spent quite a few years honing their skills, and I can assure you they're not just your average city guard. To protect Councillor Morvain, of course. He has quite a few friends on the council back in Morrowind, and they wanted to ensure his safety while he was here. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to discuss it. It can be. Even the most experienced warriors can fall prey to petty distractions. They usually didn't amount to much, but they make my job that much harder. Some of my own men have become quite accustomed to a spirit they called Emberbrand wine. Despise the stuff myself. It's powerful and tremendously addicting. I've seen men fail to finish even a single flask. If I knew where they were stashing the bottles, I'd put an end to it myself. You would? That would be helpful. I just don't have time to do it myself right now. They're too smart to have left it in the bulwark. I'd search one of the abandoned houses on the outskirts of town. Find me that stash of wine. I'm itching to be rid of it.
Last time I rode Gjallan's ship. Can I help you?
Your efforts in Raven Rock have proven most invigorating for my husband. You look able to venture outside of town. Perhaps you could help me recover something precious that was lost. Adral Arano, second counselor of Raven Rock. How I hate that title. Damn fool's going to get himself killed over it someday. He's in grave danger, and yet he continues to place himself in harm's way. When I fall asleep at night, all I can do is hope he'll still be there when I awaken. This island was never meant for us. There's too much death here. I assure you, if I could convince Adral to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Adral and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings. I'm the wife of a second counselor, and certain things are expected of me. The most important thing is that I stand by Adral no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock. Adral and I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind. House Redoran has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals that of Mournhold itself. The root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold. I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity. Regardless, I hope to return there someday, which doesn't seem likely given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain. A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers. Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my folio.
Traveling beyond the bulwark will be much safer as a result of your victory at Fort Frostmourne.
Shield, Adral.
Assisting the Redoran Guard with the Ash Spawn attacks has earned you quite the reputation here.
On behalf of House Redoran and as Councillor of Raven Rock, I bid you welcome. You've never heard of House Redorin? We're the mightiest of the great houses, and we lead the council, the ruling body of Morrowind. This isn't Skyrim, Outlander.
It's this island.
A group of powerful and influential Dunmer families have been ruling Morrowind for millennia. They embody a council made up of 5 great houses: Telvanni, Dres, Indoril, Sadras, and Redorin.
All we can do is make the most of what we have.
Well, of course. With 4 other houses on the council, someone has to keep the rabble organized. Our house leads the council by virtue of our preeminence in battle, wisdom, and ancestral glory. Yes, I imagine it would to someone not of our people. If you're interested in pursuing the subject, help yourself to any of the historical volumes in my library. Solstheim is theoretically under my rule, but without revenue from the mine, I lack the resources to actually govern anything but Raven Rock itself. Not that there's much beyond the confines of our town anyway. Well, there's a small enclave of Nords to the north in Skarl Village. They pretty much keep to themselves, and we both like it that way. Then there's Tel Mithrin to the east. The Telvanni live out there. Sort of a strange lot. But since we're both from Morrowind, we get along. Other than that, Solstheim is crawling with bandits and reeklings. But that's to be expected living in a frontier like this. It used to be one of the richest ebony mines in Morrowind, but it dried out years ago. Now, we're barely holding out here. Without the mine, Raven Rock doesn't feel like it can last much longer. My doors are open if you wish to discuss matters involving Raven Rock.
God. There's nothing beyond the bulwark except wild Nords and ash waste.
That noise! I'm not alone here.
Asura curse you!
With the Ashbourne threat taken care of, I can give my men the rest they deserve. Good. This will help me keep things running without having to worry about a bunch of soldiers falling asleep on duty. Here, take this for your trouble.
Vendel Severin. A pleasure to meet you, Sario. Always glad to help, Sario.
What? I do for you.
We meet again, Sario. Speak your mind. Damn it, woman. I said to leave me be.
Cretius, last time you explored the mine, you almost fell to your death. I'm not spending the rest of my days as a widow.
And I'm telling you that I'll do whatever it takes to find my great-grandfather's remains. He's down here. I can feel it.
That was almost 2 centuries ago. There may be nothing left to find.
Just let me go, woman.
Cretius, you're an obstinate old fool, and you're going to get yourself killed. My apologies for Cretius's ravings. There's nothing more I can teach you. To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a 3rd-generation miner. All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard. Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories. Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, it never surfaced. A decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out. It was after refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Councillor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love. Far from it. In fact, I'm no longer welcome there. In all honesty, it came down to a disagreement between what I believe and what Elder Othraloth believes. I'd prefer not to get into the details, but let's just say our opinions about the current status of the Tribunal vary widely. That foolish old man thinks he's 30 years younger than he is. He's going to get himself killed traipsing around the mine. He's convinced himself that there's some sort of conspiracy involving the East Empire Company and the mine's closure. We came across some old letters that belonged to his great-grandfather in our house, and he believes every word written in them. Cretius's great-grandfather worked for the East Empire Company. The letters mention some sort of discovery he was sent to investigate. There's really nothing remarkable in the letters. I don't know what he's so excited about. Gratian Corellius. He was an explorer for the East Empire Company. They'd send him all over Tamriel when they had difficulties in a mining operation. Poor man. Can you imagine doing all that dangerous work just to end up dying at your own doorstep? There
There was a horrible accident, and he was killed when one of the tunnels collapsed. They were never even able to go down there and recover the body. The East Empire Company sealed that section off to prevent any more tragedies. Cretius is convinced it's a story cooked up by the company to cover up something else, but I don't know. My beloved is almost 80 years old, and I think the shock of finding one of his ancestors' things has left his mind a bit confused. I love him dearly, and I support everything he does. But I can't let him chase this silly idea, or he may end up joining Gratian in a rocky grave. Be careful out there.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are. Maybe. Been difficult trusting people lately. They think I'm crazy. But mark my words, these mines hold a secret that could put Raven Rock back on the map. A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine. Gratian Kyrelius. He spent his entire life exploring ancient ruins across Tamriel, and he died in these very mines almost 200 years ago. The East Empire Company called it a terrible accident, claiming that he was lost in a rockfall, but I know better. My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent letter he'd written to the East Empire Company, and a key. It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gratian to take a closer look. The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value, as they locked that section of the mine off from everyone else. It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance. Finally, someone who believes me. I'm telling you, there's something big down there. Something that the East Empire Company wanted to hide from everyone. Look, my wife nags that I'm too old to go traipsing around these mines chasing my story. Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for. I do. I want to know what happened to Gratian, and what the East Empire Company's keeping from all of us. Gratian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries. If you can find his remains, I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. Please, do this for me, so I can finally regain the respect that I've lost. The damn fool doesn't even deserve to have it. The pickaxe was made for mining, not selling. I'll bet he stole it from the Skull in the first place. Oh, very well. Here. Tell him I hope he drops the thing on his foot. Look, I know I don't have much to go on. I have that unsent letter, and that's really it. But I also have a miner's instinct that's run in my family from before Gratian was even born. I may sound like a crazy old man to you, but I'm telling you, the tunnels here are solid. They would never collapse like that. She thinks that old age has addled my mind, that I'm seeing things when there's nothing to be seen. I realize she cares about me, but she has to understand that I can't rest until I find out what happened to Gratian. Then I'll settle down peacefully and never set foot in this mine again. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, even before I discovered Gratian's old things. I just hope both of you don't mistake my enthusiasm for insanity. Be careful down there. The mine can be treacherous.
I was always taught to avoid these types of ruins. I think I see why now. was always taught to avoid these types of ruins. I see why now. Who's there? Right there. I was always taught to avoid these types of ruins. I think I see why now. This is gorgeous. I'm glad you're here with me.
I know you, champion. The argument in vain was only the beginning. This is Apocrypha, where all knowledge is hoarded. Sate your thirst for knowledge in the endless stacks of my library. If you tire of the search, read your book again to return to your mortal life. For a time, the mirror of Apocrypha will hold you back. It is your fate.
Do you need something?
You will go with hair of gold. I called her fair. She called me bold.
Who's there? Teamwork right there.
Where'd you come from? That'll teach you. Nordic ruins.
What was that?
I'm no fan of the sun. It would be better than this. Where'd you come from?
Is someone there? I knew it! Over here!
Don't remember how to fight.
Don't fight back, and I promise I'll kill you quickly.
That'll teach you.
With the Ashbourne threat taken care of, I can give my men the rest they deserve.
Destroying the ash... Looking for any potions? Ingredients? Goodness, it must have been quite difficult tracking those creatures down out there. Here, take these. They should help you during your journeys.
Glover Mallory's the name. If you're looking for a... So, you finally tracked down old Cretius, eh? Quite a character, isn't he? Tell you what, since you went through all the trouble of finding it for me and all, you keep it. I just wanted to remind that codger you can't just go around taking things from other people. Now that you've delivered the message, I'm satisfied. Besides, that pickaxe hasn't done me any good in years. Maybe you can put it to good use. Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
Can I help you?
Why you're leading Cretius on, I'll never understand.
You're back. Please, tell me what you found. Let me see that. Huh, I knew it. Gratian's death wasn't because of a rockfall. It was just a story to keep people away from the tombs. Now that I have his journal in hand, I can get some closure from the East Empire Company. Make them pay for lying to everyone. Thank you. Now, I believe I owe you a little more than a debt of gratitude for all that work you did. Here, it's not much, but it's the best an old retired miner can do. Our home has stood in Raven Rock since the colony was founded. Grayson helped build it with his own 2 hands. After Grayson died, he left behind a wife and a son. My grandfather, Relicus. Relicus lived there for quite a long time, working in the other sections of the mine until he was slain by reavers. I never knew my father. My mother and I always lived alone. I asked her about him many times, but she seemed angry and refused to speak about him. So eventually, I let it go. When I was old enough, I began working in the mine, hoping to make my fortune and eventually move to the Imperial City. Unfortunately, yes. I only had enough coin saved to send one of us back to the Imperial City. So I sent my mother alone. I wanted her to see her homeland before she died. Until I met my darling Aphia, yes. I suppose you could have called me a bitter old hermit. Now I'm just old. Those cowards left decades ago. Every single damned one of them. The moment the ebony mine dried up, they pulled up stakes. Ridiculous. Well, you know it as well as I do. Raven Rock Mine wasn't empty at all. It's still rich in ebony ore. I come from 3 generations of miners, and I couldn't get anyone to believe me. Well, we showed them, didn't we? Mark my words. Raven Rock isn't finished yet. If it wasn't for the bulwark, we'd be digging our houses out beneath the ash.
To end this little game.
Where'd you come from?
Ah! Not so fast!
bad.
Go ahead.
As you're accursed to.
Just one more bottle.
Where'd you come from?
Maybe a second one, kid.
Never should have come here.
What by day was stolen. Far from ourselves.
He grows ever near to us.
Can you hear me?
You
must leave this place!
Blinded.
You there. What brings you to this place? Why are you here? I am Freya of the Scar. I am here to either save my people or avenge them. I am unsure. Something has taken control of most of the people of Solstheim. It makes them forget themselves and work on these horrible creations that corrupt the stones, the very land itself. My father Storm, our shaman, says Mirak has returned to Solstheim, but that is impossible. Then you and I both have reason to see what lies beneath us. Let us go. There is nothing more I can do here. The tree stone and my friends are beyond my help for now. We need to find a way into the temple below. It is an ancient stone of power, a connection to the All-Maker. It represents one of the aspects of nature, a part of the All-Maker's creation. There are other stones around Solstheim. I fear for what has happened to them. There are few of us left unaffected by this curse. My father Storm, the shaman, protects them in the village. I fashioned an amulet to guard me against whatever has taken hold of me. By the All-Maker!
You won't win.
Victorious again. The evil in this place must be rooted. There are few of it. My father Storm, the shaman. I fashioned an amulet. If I cannot find a way to save them, there is no hope for our people. We have lived on Solstheim for many generations. Our people are tied to the land itself. We try to serve the All-Maker, to live in balance with nature, instead of exploiting it, as others would. His story is as old as Solstheim itself. He served the dragons before their fall from power, as most did, a priest in their order. But unlike most, he turned against them. He made his own path, and his actions cost him dearly. The stories say he sought to claim Solstheim for himself, and the dragons destroyed him for it.
Here do we toil.
I must not fail my people. Are you ready to help me now? We should not delay. We should check these rooms for supplies before heading further into the temple. Be careful in these ruins. Traps can be anywhere, and there will likely be many. Mirak was trying to take power here, and protect himself in the process. I do not wish to imagine the kinds of things that happened in this chamber. Who are the poor souls trapped in these cages? What tortures did they suffer at Mirak's hands? Was it in service to the dragons, or for his own purposes? Look up there. I think I see something. The stairs are knocked out. I have no doubt you can find a way up. You never know. You may find something of value up there. I shall look around. We can proceed when you are ready.
Keep your eyes open here. Where'd you come
Victorious again. I'm not going would be foolish to attempt. You have a much better chance. Thank you. Great make it difficult to reach him, it seems. Let us hope that is the last of his tracks. I do not know what it is Mirak learned that gave him reason to turn on his masters. But his path seems to have been a cruel one. I wonder if we will find some answers to what happened so long ago. Who's there? That'll teach you. Interesting. This may be worth exploring. I knew I had something. That'll teach you. No one here now. cannot be much farther now. I feel it in my bones. I've heard Mirak had turned against the dragon cult, but to display the remains in such a manner feels... Something feels wrong. Brace yourself! Who's there? Like a hawk. Too slow. I do not fear death. I knew it. A secret passage in the dining area just opened up. This must be it. Let us move quickly. wonder if there is something here that tells the story of Mirac. Nothing but ruined books. I do not recognize this statuary. We passed by a few of them earlier, but they are becoming more frequent as we get further in. I do not like this place. It almost looks as if these statues will come to life at any moment. It is eerily quiet. I do not suspect that will be the case the further we go. Be on your guard. Ready yourself. This book, it seems wrong somehow. Here, yet not. It may be what we seek.
The time comes soon when... What? Who are you to dare set foot here? Ah. You are Dragonborn. I can feel it. And yet... So you have slain Alduin. Well done. I could have slain him myself back when I walked the earth. But I chose a different path. You have no idea of the true power a Dragonborn can wield. This realm is beyond. You have no power here. And it is only a matter of time before Solstheim is also mine. I already control the minds of his people. Soon they will finish building my temple, and I can return home. Send him back where he came from. He can await my arrival with the rest of Tamriel.
What happened to you? You read the book and then... It seemed as though you were not really here. I could see you, but also see through you. Where? Where is he? Can we reach him? Can we kill him? This is a dangerous thing, then. We should return to my village and show this to my father. Perhaps Storn can make sense of what is going on. Come, there looks to be a way out through here. You see that green light? That comes from the Windstone, where my people work against their will. They must be freed soon. The village is just ahead. Storn has used his magic to raise a barrier around it, protecting the few of us left. That the barrier is still there is a good sign. Father, I have returned. There is yet hope.
Freya, what news do you bring? Is there a way to free our people?
No, but I have brought someone who has seen things. He has confirmed that Mirak is indeed behind the suffering of our people.
I feared that it would be so.
But how is that possible? After all this time?
I fear there is too much we do not yet know.
Please, tell Storm what has happened.
So you have seen things, yes? My magic grows weak, and so does the barrier around our village. Time is short. Tell me what you know. How do you know this? The legends speak of that place. Terrible battles fought at the temple. The dragons burning it to the ground in rage. They speak also of something worse than dragons buried within. Difficult to imagine, but if true, it means what I feared has come to pass. Mirak was never truly gone, and now has returned. If you could go to this place and see him, are you like Mirak? Are you Dragonborn? Then perhaps you are connected with him. The old tales say that he too was Dragonborn. I am unsure. It may mean that you could save us, or it may mean that you could bring about our destruction. But our time here is running out. The few of us left free of control cannot protect ourselves for much longer. You must go to Saring's Watch. Learn there the word that Mirak learned long ago, and use that knowledge on the Windstone. You may be able to break the hold on our people there, and free them from control. Mirak is behind what is happening to our village. And so the knowledge she has gained as Dragonborn is at the heart of it. You are Dragonborn as well. You too can wield this power, perhaps to a better end. Some dark influence wields power over them, forces them to forget themselves and act against their nature. At first, it was only during the night. But now every moment is spent building some strange shrine around the Windstone. I believe if the shrine can be destroyed, the Skull will be free once more. Much of what was known has been lost to the ages. He was Dragonborn, and yet he served the dragons. A priest in their order, highly esteemed and very powerful. Then he turned against them, becoming something they feared. He was defeated long ago, but it seems he was never really destroyed. I'll make a shelter.
If anyone can help us now, it is you. She died when I was very young. She was caught in a terrible snowstorm while returning home from gathering firewood. You must understand that for the Skal, life is a constant hardship. We take nothing for granted. We cannot afford to. Between the wolves, the weather, and the threats in the south, even a simple task like gathering wood for the fire can turn deadly in an instant. We are bound to this land, like a great pine with roots that run as deep as the tree is tall. I know it must seem strange to you, but for us, the thought of leaving our village is equally strange. The land and the Skal are one. There is no other way to say it. It was Skaf the Giant, our former chieftain, who taught me the ways of battle. He was a great bear of a man, and a fearsome warrior. I used to be terrified of him when I was a little girl. I was a restless and angry child, and Skaf taught me swordplay, so that I could, as he used to say, put that fire to good use. He was a great man, and a good leader. I miss him dearly.
Farewell, outsider.
Wow, this is gorgeous. I'm glad you're here with me.
Where did you come
Don't like those eyes you got. There's a bad hunger to them.
The whole village is here. What sorcery is this?
I can't speak now, friend. Return home.
The air is different. We are safe, which means you have succeeded. You are an outsider, and I don't know if I can make you understand. I will try. The All-Maker is the maker of all things, and it is from the All-Maker that life flows like a great river. As all rivers must return to the sea, so all life returns in time to the All-Maker. I know our ways must seem strange to you, but the 9 gods of the Empire are equally strange to us. As shaman of Skull Village, I serve as both a guide and a healer, as well as a keeper of traditions. I also remind the Skull to live as one with nature, and to honor the will of the All-Maker, so that we will be worthy to join him in death. So it is. You have proven yourself an ally to the Skull, and so the Skull shall be allies to you. If you have released the Windstone and broken the hold on my people, perhaps you can do the same for the rest of Solstheim. I doubt it will fully stop whatever Miraak is doing, but it may slow his progress. I cannot help with that. None here can. You will need the knowledge Miraak himself learned. You will need to learn more about this Black Book. Mirak had this? This does not look like something of the dragon cult. It is a dark thing, unnatural. I would have nothing to do with it. But the dark elf wizard, Neloth. He came to us some time ago, asking about black books. I believe he knows a great deal about them. Perhaps too much. Seek him out to the south. Be cautious, Dragonborn. There is something else at work here. The power of the stone had been corrupted. It was the source of the influence that had taken control of the skull. Your shout broke whatever evil will controlled the stone, and restored its true nature as a conduit of the All-Maker's gifts. Freeing the other stones will diminish whatever dark influence is spreading across Solstheim. Yes, there are 6 sacred stones. Wind, water, earth, beast, sun, and tree. Through them, the oneness of the land is maintained. Freya saw that the tree stone now stands imprisoned in Mirak's new temple. I doubt that you can free it until his power is broken. But you may be able to cleanse the other stones. Even if this does not stop Mirak, it surely will delay his return. He also is searching for them. In fact, he has already found one. He showed it to me when he came here. It was very like the one you found in Mirak's temple. A thing of dark magic, not of the All-Maker. Our traditions do not speak of them, but they and Mirak are connected. You read a black book and saw him. And the book's power comes from the same dark source as that which corrupted the Windstone. But beware, you are now walking the same road as Mirak. All-Maker shelter you.
For many years now, I have attended to Storn, learning his ways. Join you? You mean leave the village to journey with you and fight at your side? Well, I'm flattered, but the village is my home. It's very rare for one of the Skal to leave, and I have responsibilities here. You're right. I suppose the others can get by without me for a while. Very well. If you need my help, seek me out here in the village. Farewell, outsider.
Yes? I'll be with the Dawn Guard if you need me.
It's good that I will follow you, Skal friend, but I must return to the village afterward. Fenari shows what it means to be a leader to the Very well. All-Maker guide you.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend? I came here to study the history of Solstheim, but it's the Skal who intrigue me the most. Well, let me think. I suppose it's been nearly a year now. My goodness, how the time has flown. Well, not so far. They think I'm a bit strange, but they seem to tolerate me. In fact, They've been very accommodating, hospitable even. They seem happy to talk about their traditions and history. Oh, no, most certainly not. I'm a historian. I'm here to learn about the history of Solstheim. Solstheim is a fascinating place, but we know so little about its past. There are many mysteries that remain unsolved. Yes, that was a most disturbing experience. But to answer your question, the architecture was strange, almost otherworldly. Given that, and the considerable power it must have taken to affect our minds so completely, it would suggest the work of a powerful mage. Either that, or perhaps a Daedra. If so, then may the Nine protect us. Powerful and malevolent entities will make their home on the plane of oblivion. Some of the more powerful among them can exert their influence within our world, and when they do, men inevitably suffer. All right, then. I came here to study the history of Solstheim, but it's the skull that intrigued me the most.
Your skin's as pale as the snow. You scared of sunlight or something? Bandits sometimes come at night to steal our food. They think that stealing from us is easier than hunting for themselves. It will be dangerous, but if you'll deal with these thieves, we would be most grateful. Then may the Allmaker give you the strength of a great bear and make your will as firm as stone. I was chosen by the people of the village when our last leader, Scoff the Giant, departed the cold world to join the Allmaker. I suppose I've always spoken my mind and tried to do what's best for the Skal. That's why the others call me Fanari Strongvoice. We are Nords, much like those you'll find in Skyrim. Long ago, our path diverged from that of our cousins on the mainland. We live as one with the land, for the land provides all that we need. Also, like the Nords of old, we embrace the Allmaker. We do not worship the 9 gods of the Empire.
All right, then.
The weapons of the skull will never be dull, as long as Baldur Ironshaper tends the forge. There have been many strangers in our lab. Take a look. Farewell, Strong.
Maybe. You freed us from the dark dream, and for that, the Skull are grateful. Well, the dragons are a constant danger, but so far they have taken little interest in our village. Thank the All-Maker for that. But have they forced us to change the way we live our lives? No, not at all. They are but one more hardship, added to the many we already endure. Well, my mother used to say that I was born an angry child. It's true that my heart has always been restless, and fighting was the only way I could find peace. I was a soldier for a time, and then a mercenary, but I was never truly happy until I came here. Strength and courage be always with you.
We're nearly out of gold.
Every winter, the ash from the angry mountains creeps closer.
I am called Wolf Wildblood. I am first hunter of the Skal. In days past, my brother Torkild and I would share the hunt, but that was long ago. I wish I could tell you. He had a wild gleam in his eye, more so than most. In my darkest times, I fear he fell in among the werebears of the glacier. Twisted beasts, a curse of Hircine. True bears are noble and great creatures of the wild, but the Daedra have no skill for creation, so they defile the Allmaker's workings. I've heard tell of men who, by curse or by heart's desire, become transformed into one of those vile things. It is a pitiable fate, and one that I fear has fallen to my brother. He set off from here so long ago, it's hard to say. Could be in Hammerfell for all I know. If you happen to cross his path, be wary. He was a fierce warrior as a man. If he fell prey to his more bestial side, he could be deadly. When we stalk large game, I lead our hunters in tracking the beast. It is also a way of saying that I am the most skilled hunter in the village. I doubt that an outsider could truly understand, but I hope my words have helped to answer your question. Deer, bear, and porker provide most of what we need for skins and meat. Sometimes, when the wolves grow too bold and threaten the village, we must hunt them to cull their numbers. The first piece of wisdom I teach to any hunter of the Skal is to ask the simple question: should I truly kill this beast? We take only what we need, and so we preserve the oneness with the land. The Skal hunt not for sport, but to survive. We believe that all creatures have a right to live as they will, and when we take what we need from them, we thank the beast for its gifts. The less we disturb the land and the beasts within it, the more we respect the wishes of the Allmaker. He never felt the call of the Allmaker as I do, as we all should. We seek to live in peace with the land, but he had an eye for dominance and strength. For unnatural strength, you need look no further than the beasts of this island, mangled by the Daedra. It's not a fate I would wish on anyone, and not what I wanted for my brother. Until next time.
Well, Dior and Ursa are still gone.
I have goods to offer if you have need. Many hunters pass through our village, and sometimes the Dark Elves of Ravenrock visit us. They bring us things from their homeland that we can't find on the island, such as spices, fine cloth, and ores that we cannot mine here. It's true we Skal prefer a simpler life than some, but we do still enjoy a luxury from time to time. I gathered some plants that are useful for making potions, but I have other goods as well. May the sun light your path.
I came here to study the history of Solstice.
I hope you will give me word if you find anything about my brother.
The ash. It is the will of the Allmaker to cut firewood only from the dead tree.
The elders talk of great cities much bigger.
That bow you gave me is twice as strong as yours.
I welcome you, friend of the Skal.
I'm the leader of the... Have you put those... Your kindness warms my heart. The sunlight warms the skin on a cold day. The Skull are once again in your debt, outsider. Good day.
I will strike like a hook.
You follow me. You follow me. You strong, help Dragon. You strong, help Dragon. Chief smart, must recruit them, but Chief smart. We family, we strong, you stronger. Bilkamak, run, prize beast, run. Bull tribe kin, chase away, Bilkamak, fear. You bring, he follow you, yes. Bilkamak, prize beast, you find, he follow. Bilkamak, love meat, give meat, he follow, you go. Kawa, Rawa.
that we might remember.
Go!
If you're looking for passage to Vardenfell, you're out of luck. No ships are heading that way.
I'm asking myself why Mirek was...
We've got our eyes on you.
I can't thank you enough for reopening the Ebony Mines. You've brought light to the darkness, my friend. Assisting the Redoran Guard with the Ash Spawn attacks has earned you quite the reputation here. Keep it up. You might think it's all perfume and roses now that the mine's open. But all I see is a new security problem on our hands. Making sure those shipments of ebony make it safely from the mine to the shipping docks is my new order of the day. And with Solstheim crawling with reavers and Azora knows what else, I can't risk any attacks on Ravenrock. I appreciate the help you've been giving us.
We can't get blood from a stone, Logan. As it is, we can barely make ends meet.
Any luck tracking down Esmond? I told him not to head up there. Sounds like the bloody fool got what he deserved. Here, I want you to take this key. Head inside my house and unlock the door in the basement. Help yourself to whatever you like inside. I won't be using it anymore. I've always had a steady stream of work thanks to the Redoran Guard, so it hasn't affected me much. However, I've seen the smile on people's faces, and there's hope around here once again. Something we've been lacking for a long time.
I'm sorry to bother you, but Second Councillor Rano asked me to come find you. He said it's quite urgent. All he wanted me to do is track you down and send you to him. Look, this is important. Even more important than wiping out the Ash Spawn. Please, go speak to the Second Councillor as soon as possible.
You've been a good friend to me. That
If you
means...
want that beautiful wife of yours to stay that way, you better.
Last time I rode Jalen's ship, I was heaving my guts for a week.
Thank you for coming. After everything you've already done for Ravenrock, I hate to ask for more, but I can't risk Councillor Morvain being killed. The Ulan family of House Lalu, a rival great house, has placed a death mark on the Councillor's head. It's a private matter. Let's just say they seek revenge for the execution of one of their own, ordered by Councillor Morvain himself. The problem is I don't have any solid proof that anyone from House Lalu is hidden among us. Only my suspicions. It may be justified, but it certainly isn't appreciated. Councillor Morvain simply feels that I'm being paranoid. I'm afraid that one day I'll awaken and discover him dead. And I don't want it to come to that. I do. I've received some information from my sources that there could be elements of Ulan's house, House Lalu, already in Ravenrock. Ravenrock is a small settlement, so it's hard to accomplish anything in secret. If any of them is from House Lalu, I wouldn't be able to make a move without them knowing. I had a feeling you'd be willing to listen to me. I need you to start out by being my eyes and ears. Search Raven Rock and see if you can root out these traitors. The best place to start would be Geldis Sadri, over at the Retching Netch Corner Club. If he provides you any leads, check them out before bringing them to my attention. I can't afford to make any mistakes. I maintain a few contacts in other Dunmer settlements across Tamriel. Most hail from House Redoran, but there are a few from other houses. Most of my contacts live leagues away from Solstheim. Sending the occasional message back and forth is all we can manage, and sometimes takes months or more to arrive. However, any information we can glean in times like this, I consider vital to House Redoran's survival. Traitors, the lot of them. Their collaboration with the Empire may have given them unrivaled political and economic strength, but their hearts weren't with the Dunmer people. Lalu deserved every bit of hatred they received once the Empire released its grasp on Morrowind. Having past ties to the Empire immediately turned them into the scapegoat for the Dunmer people's suffering. They had welcomed the Empire with open arms and benefited from it. When everything was said and done, they were no longer recognized as a great house and were dismissed from the council. During the Oblivion Crisis, gates to the Plane of Oblivion opened all over Morrowind. The Empire pulled most of its forces out of Morrowind to deal with the gates in their own homeland, leaving us virtually defenseless. We had no standing army at the time, just uncoordinated pockets of resistance. House Redoran took charge and was slowly able to build an army. It took years, but it became a force to be reckoned with. When the Argonians invaded years later, House Redoran's army was able to prevent them from sweeping across all of Morrowind. It would be fair to say that House Redoran literally saved the Dunmer people from destruction. Don't worry. You can trust Geldis. He's been with us for a long time.
Can I help you?
If there's anything at all I can do to help.
You've brought Raven Rock back from the brink, traveler. I don't know how to thank you. You have?
Any news from Vardenfell, Councillor?
You have no idea what this means to me, to my family. Reclamations, bless you. Well, you've certainly proven your worth around here to me. Please, accept this gift as a token of my appreciation.
My thoughts exactly, my friend.
Good journey, traveler.
Plenty of work in the month. Made me feel looking. If you witness suspicious activity, report it to Captain Velith immediately.
I work. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
I don't know what you did in those mines, but it put a smile on Cretius's face. I've never seen him so happy. Don't be put off by my husband's mood. He enjoys having visitors.
I don't know if I can do this anymore, Modin.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, home of the finest Sue Jammer that will ever grace your lips. The Redoran Guard have spotted a pack of werewolves in the mountains.
At some point,
The hunters up on Frostmoon Crag might know
no matter the
more.
outcome, I'll always respect your decision.
The blacksmith up at Skull Village seems to have gone missing, and they've asked us to keep an eye out. Heard that Reeklings got hold of Thirsk Mead Hall, forced the Nords who live there to move to a camp nearby. Nothing specific, but I'm hearing rumblings of assassins living amongst us. I think they intend to target Councillor Morvain, but I can't be certain. Word's reached us that the dragons have returned. I wonder if you've got gold on your hands, you might talk to Rallis up at Colbjorn Barrow. I've heard he wants to excavate the place. There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sujamma in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink!" and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on the netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick. True story, friend. True story. The finest Sujamma to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujamma. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it. I was kinda hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujamma and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by.
The mine's open, people are buying drinks. How do you think? It's a blessing. I've got regular paying customers again. Thirsty workers at the end of the day, and more coin than I can count. Just get them to taste my Sujamma. Once they take a sip, it'll sell itself.
It gets lonely out here, you know, on this remote island. Well, tell Geldis that Miri says she really appreciates it. And don't stay away for too long.
Your actions here have been a blessing to us all, Sergio. If you ever need apothecary supplies, talk to... Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty.
It's busier now that things are starting to look up. I guess Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks. Things are picking up for now. All I'm wondering is how long it'll take for House Redorin to begin ignoring us again if the mine runs out of ore for a second time.
The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone unturned.
You've brought Ravenrock back from the brink, traveler. I don't know how to thank you. Oh, how kind. Thank Geldis for me, won't you? Good journey, traveler.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by.
Make it quick.
You got Glover Mallory's the name. If you're looking for a smith, you found one of the best. Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip.
Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
The mine, if you're looking to purchase something, Speak to my father, Fethis. At least my father will let me drink whatever I want without complaining. Tell Geldis I appreciate it. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim's still a dangerous place.
If there's anything at all I can do to help, please let me know.
I have a message for you.
What? Oh, no, thank you. I need to keep my head clear.
It's not from your father.
Don't worry. You can trust Geldis. He's been
Oh
with
my
us.
goodness. I'm so sorry, Geldis.